Joe, Masterrate, you've ridden him on all three of his barrier trials leading into his debut this weekend. To me, the trials have looked good. How have they felt to you?
Felt as good as it looks like on TV, you know. He's done it very straightforward, showing that he's such a professional kind of a horse. And he's another one that I should be getting very excited about to be sitting on board of him on the weekend.
Looking at the most recent trial, he didn't look the quickest out of the gates, but once he got going, he looks like he's got a lot of natural speed. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, and look, it was just his third trial, so you can't expect them to just be that fast out of the gate, as you just mentioned. But once he hit the ground and found his balance, he just ran away and showed that he's got so much quality himself. The way how he did it at the trial, I'd be very surprised if he goes out there and do not perform.
So you think he'll be making a winning debut?
He can be one of a kind. Of course, we got to be respecting the other horse in the race. And at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to be a very strong race. So he's going to have every chance to start off at his Hong Kong career in the best way.
He's drawn 9. Would you plan to use his speed to counteract that draw, Joe?
It's always good to have something to be looking at when you're going out for the first time, you know. So I don't think I should restrain him, but if he just finds himself among the top 3, I think he should have every chance for that. Gate 9, it appears to be tricky, but actually might be a bit good for him. So he's going to have horse on his right side, take him into the corner, and if he just showed the turn of foot that he showed at the trial, at the finishing, at the races, I think he's going to be very hard to beat.
Paul, August Moon, that was a better run from him last time out. Is he a horse that's turned the corner?
Yeah, I think so. His first few runs was pretty much a learning experience for him, but it was a reasonably good field last week, and I think he should go on with it.
His first couple of runs were quite well spaced, but he's only had a couple of weeks since his last run. Fitness-wise, is he at his peak?
Yeah, no, fitness-wise he's very good. It's just that he's pretty well suited running down the straight, or would appear to be at this stage. So probably normally we would have given him another week between runs, but the 1,000 metre came up this weekend, so we put him in.
And work-wise, just looking at the track work records, have you kept him pretty fresh for this?
Yeah, it doesn't need a lot of work because it's only a fortnight in between runs, so he's fine.
Lance trained him back in New Zealand, gave him a trial there. What's his background? Was he always destined to come here, Paul?
The guys that owned him in New Zealand, they were traders, and he trialled pretty well in New Zealand, so he earned a spot to come to Hong Kong.
David Master Montaro, we haven't seen him at the races since Derby Day. Did you just feel that he needed a freshen up?
Yeah, look, it's his first preparation basically, and this is the start of his second prep. So we took him to Chung Fa, had an easy time. 1,000 metres probably, on the short side for him, but I thought rather than trial him, let's do it for money. And he has got good 1,000 metre form from Australia.
So even if he hasn't had that trial, as you say, do you think he can run a competitive race?
I think it's a positive not trialling. I'm sure if I trialled him up the straight last week, he would have trialled very well, but it might have taken the zip out of him for the race.
Hasn't been back in Hong Kong for long since that stint at Chung Fa. How does he look to you?
Really good. He's in great shape, and after this he'll go probably straight out to 1,400 in about 3 or 4 weeks.
He's a horse who arrived here with big raps from Australia. He's had 2 wins, but he's been a bit inconsistent at times. Has he lived up to your expectations?
Look, I'm pretty happy with what he's done. His racing pattern coming from the back is all about tempo. So if the tempo's wrong, it's impossible to come from the back. And in Hong Kong on the firm tracks, they keep running sometimes. So he has to do huge efforts to win. And a couple of the wins were big efforts. So yeah, I'm happy with him.
Turquoise Alpha, Paul, that was another better effort from him last time out.
Yeah, for sure. He'd had three runs prior to that, and he'd been pretty ordinary. It could be down to the fact that the track that day had the sting out of it, or he's, like many horses, has turned the corner, And if he has turned the corner, he's come up with a lot better barrier, and the step up to 1,600 metres will be suitable, so he'd be a very interesting runner.
Is he one of these European horses that's just taken a bit of time to adjust?
Yeah, the vast majority of them, and but they seem, once they do run a good race, they seem to go on with it, so hopefully he will too.
And last time we saw him getting back and getting to the line nicely, would it be the plan to ride him the same sort of way?
Well, he's got a better draw, so we'll use the draw to some extent. I could see him slotting in midfieldish or something like that. And as I say, I think the step up to the mile will be quite positive.
Fantastic treasure, David, 4 from 4, but up to Class 2 now on Sunday. Do you expect that winning run to continue?
I'm hoping so. All the signs are good. He's eaten all his feed and he's in terrific order. He's a great looking horse. Got a bit of a sticky gait. C+3 might be tricky, but good horses tend to overcome things. And a clear run with the lightweight might be better than being stuck on the inside.
When you look at those wins as well too, first up he came from a long way back. Last time out he was closer, but he was still able to produce that turn of foot, that tactical versatility that he's got. Is that one of his best traits?
I think so, yeah. But on Saturday, probably meeting some informed, hardened, seasoned horses, this will be a real test for him. But I'll leave it to Schofield, read the tactics.
Is this it for him for the season?
Yes, it is. Yeah, he's going to have a 6-week break and then be ready in September.
And would you be planning on having him as a 4-year-old series horse for next season?
He's my number one seed, I'd say. I'd say if he was racing at home, he'd be a definite young group horse.
You're keeping him to 1,400 metres as well here. You've said before, though, that you think his best trip's a mile. Was there any temptation to get him to a mile this preparation? Or are you saving that one in the bag?
I think we'll save it. You know, it's his first prep, so he's got a bit up his sleeve, so we don't want to empty him out in the first prep. So 1,400 I think is probably ideal at this stage, but next season, maybe on International Day, there's a nice race over a mile, I think a Class 1/2. We might try him out that day.